Baraka in the language of the Arabs, it means ziyada, increase. That's what baraka means. And baraka, the ultimate nature of baraka, but from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But it lets you know that, how can you say, the sacred nature of the Rasul, where barakah is sought from him. Whereas the reality of barakah, illa lillah, it's only for Allah Ta'ala. That's why, tabarruk, tabarruk, blessed, where barakah is from, never used in the entire Arabic language except for Allah. Never. The entire Quran, whenever you see tabarruk, that word used, lillah, wahda, only for Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala. Huna, and where do they seek barakah? From the Rasul Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. When the Prophet used to drink milk, Allahumma barik lana. Oh Allah, is he drinking milk? Barik. That's his dua. Bless this milk. Wazidna minhu. At the end, wazidna. And give us more barakah, increases in the barakah inside of the milk. Milk very special. That's the only thing, food, drink the Prophet would consume where we make that special dua. Sallallahu alayhi wa alayhi wa sahbihi wa sallam. Ajma' al-ulama. Ulama have concurred, it's the greatest quote-unquote food. Milk. Nothing greater than ajma'. The ulama radiallahu ta'ala anhum were wrong on the basis of the dua of the Rasul. Hadith in Sahih al-Bukhari, Prophet looks at the young Abdullah ibn Abbas, Ya Abdullah, O Abdullah, iftah faka, open up your mouth. Abdullah ibn Abbas opens up his mouth, and the Rasul sallallahu alayhi wa sallam spits right into the mouth of Abdullah ibn Abbas. Okay. Baraka, spits right into the mouth of the Rasul sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. And what's the nature of the saliva of the Rasul sallallahu alayhi wa sallam? What's the nature of his saliva? And for some of us, maybe, and khalas, something maybe we maybe not heard before, maybe we're getting used to. These are hadith sahihain, fulcrum of the religion in and of itself. But the saliva of the Rasul as an example, bi'r al-ma'una. I don't know bi'r al-ma'una, the well of Ma'una. A well that had gone dry, it's about to go dry, well, in Medina to Munawwara. What did the Rasul do? Spits in it. What happened to the well? Overflows with water. That's called bi'r al-ma'una. Very, very famous well. Still there in Medina to Munawwara to this day. That's spitting into water. What happens when he spits into a man's mouth? Sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. That's why the Prophet thereby says, Allahumma faqihhu fi din wa alimhu ta'wil. Then he makes a dua after spitting through his mouth. Oh Allah, faqihhu fi din. Give him understanding of the religion. Wa alimhu ta'wil. And give him the art of subtle interpretation of the Quran in and of itself. That's Abdullah bin Abbas radiallahu ta'ala anhu warda. And in case we haven't understood about the saliva of the Rasul sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wa sahbihi wa sallam, is Sahih al-Bukhari. And this could be no ulterior motive here. Ibn Mas'ud al-Thaqafi, when he goes to the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, this is what's called the Treaty of Hudaybiyah, and he's going on behalf of Quraysh, enemies. He's a disbeliever on behalf of Quraysh, and he is shocked by what he sees. And when he sees how the companions themselves race to the Rasul sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, how they interact with the Rasul, shocked. And that's why when he returns back to Quraysh are getting ready for war, to go to war against the Prophet ﷺ. And then it's saying, Ibn Mas'ud al-Thaqafi, he stands in front of Quraysh and he says, La tuqatiluhu. Don't fight this man. What do you mean don't fight the man? And he said, La tuqatiluhu. Don't fight him. Then they say to him, Asaba'ta ya Urwa. And you become a Muslim, Urwa? He said, La ma sabat. He said, no, I've not become a Muslim. He said, وَلَكِنْ دَخَلْتُ عَلَى الْقَيْصَرِ فِي مُلْكِهِ. But I've entered upon Qaisar, Caesar, in his dominion, وَعَلَى الْخَصْرَوْس فِي مُلْكِهِ, and upon the emperor of Persia in his dominion, وَعَلَى النَّجَاشِي فِي مُلْكِهِ, and upon the Negus in his dominion. And he said, but I've never seen, regardless of Caesar, of the emperor of Persia and the emperor of Abyssinia, I've never seen anyone exalted كَأَصْحَابِ مُحَمَّدٍ يُعَذِّمُوا مُحَمَّدًا. Like the way the companions of Muhammad exalt Muhammad. Never seen the like of it. But of the things, and he mentions many things, but of the things he mentions, that never does he spit saliva, save that they all race towards it to get it, to catch his saliva, and to begin to wipe it over themselves. Lima, why? And we have to ask ourselves why. Like, why would you do that? And which one of us would do that to another man? Another man who'd spit, that you would fight over his saliva. The Ibn Mas'ud said they fight over his wada'a. They used to fight over his hair, sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wa sahbihi wa sallam. They would fight and compete just to be of those who went skin to skin with the Rasul, sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Like Suwad. It's one of the Prophet lines them up for war, and there's one of them, he's sticking out of the ranks, the battle ranks. And the Prophet has his walking stick, and he takes his stick, pushes it in his chest, and pushes him into line. And he says to the Rasul, Ya Rasul, awja'tani. O Messenger of God, you hear me. that really hate what you just did. And the Prophet ﷺ like, and he says, Qawad. Qawad means I want retribution. An eye for an eye, a tooth for a tooth, a stick for a stick. Yani. I want retribution. And so the Prophet ﷺ takes his stick and he gives it to Sayyidina Sawad. He said, take the stick, get your retribution. And he said, Ya Rasulullah, la tarani, don't you see me? I'm bare-chested. Look, this man's going to war bare-chested. Yani. He's going to war, no armor, bare-chested. He said, Ya Rasulullah, I'm bare-chested. So even Stephen, strip. He says, strip, you got to go bare-chested if it's going to be proper retribution. And so the Prophet, so Sahaba are all, Prophet said, no, let him be. He's going to get it. And so the Prophet ﷺ strips off his top. And then Sayyidina Sawad goes and then he embraces the Prophet ﷺ, embraces him, skin to skin. And the Prophet ﷺ says, Ma hamalaka ala hada? And what is it that made you do that? And he said, Ya Rasulullah, if this is my last contract with life, this is war now. This is like my last contract with life. I want to die having gone skin to skin with you. This is mafahim of the Sahaba radiyallahu ta'ala anhum wardahum. In the age of the Rasul, no water comes into the city. Okay? You have to go beyond the city to get your water. But you go beyond the city first thing in the morning, just before crack of dawn. They'll go and they'll get the water from the well and then they'll bring it to their various residences and then khalas, they have enough water for the day. But before they bring the water to their residences, what do? They go to the house of the Rasul. First thing in the morning. They're all there with all their what's called jonia, buckets of water in front of the Rasul, and all the Prophet ﷺ does is just this. He just puts his hand in each one. That's all he does. Puts his hand in each and every single bucket of water, they take it and they all leave. Sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Maf'oom of the Sahaba. Think about that. And think about that. Every drop of water they drink, every drop of water they use for wudu, it's been touched by the Rasul sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Think of that's one thing Urwa says in Al-Bukhari. Urwa says that he doesn't make wudu, never does he make wudu, save يَقْتَتِلُونَ عَلَى وَضُوئِهِ, that they begin to fight over the remnants of the water. They fight over it. That's the way it's in Sahih Bukhari with Urwa Mas'ud al-Thaqafi. I never asked to wear it. إِنَّمَا سَأَوْتُ لِتَكُونَ كَفَنِي. I want this to be how I'm shrouded in death. I only want this to shroud me when I die, to be shrouded by something that the Prophet ﷺ wore, that he touched. Ma'ani fuqidat fil ummah. Ummah has these ma'ani fuqidat, to the point that if you speak about barakah of the Rasul, you'll have juhala say it's shirk, kufr. That's what they say, bid'ah or what have you, when you speak of the barakah of the Rasul ﷺ. Juhala, yani, people who are ghayat al-jahl, like they've returned back to yani, min jahiliyat al-ula, as Allah Ta'ala in the Quran. He's about the barakah of the Rasul, like they know better than the Sahaba. They know aqeedah of the Rasul and better than the Sahaba. What Abdul Rahman ibn Auf won a garment of the Rasul ﷺ just to be shrouded in. Radiallahu ta'ala anhum wardahum. And people, yani, a nation that allows that type of belief to proliferate can never be successful, ever. By the Lord of the Kaaba, can never be successful. A nation who allows that to proliferate inside, in its midst. إنما سأوت لتكون كفني قال سهل فكانت كفنه. And that's how it came to pass. When he died, he was buried in the actual burda of the Prophet ﷺ. Imam Ahl Sunnah wal Jama'ah, Ahmed ibn Hanbal. Everyone know Ahmed ibn Hanbal, Imam Ahl Sunnah wal Jama'ah. Ahmed ibn Hanbal had 3 hairs of the Prophet. How is he buried, Ahmed ibn Hanbal? He has 3 hairs of the Prophet ﷺ. When he died, in his wasi, in the will of Ahmed ibn Hanbal, he wanted 1 hair upon 1 eye, the other hair upon the 2nd eye, 3rd hair upon his tongue. That's Ahmed ibn Hanbal is buried. And it is. So sometimes it's like bewildering, yani. Really bewildering. When you see the state that Muslims have got into with these sort of really wild beliefs that they have about the nature of the religion of Allah Ta'ala. Someone's going to say, do you have a problem with barakah other than others? Okay, try here. And read the life of Ibn Taymiyyah. Because the same people are going to object to the issue of barakah. And it centers around really one great Imam called Ahmad ibn Taymiyyah. Read the life of Ibn Taymiyyah. Did he seek barakah from things? Read the death of Ibn Taymiyyah. I will hold the students where they're all yatabarrakuna bihi. Remember that? It's not something that in its essence you take back to Ibn Taymiyyah or you take back to Ibn. You don't take it back to those Imams. They say, oh, Shaykh al-Islam, the only Shaykh in Islam ever, Ibn Taymiyyah. Don't take it back to him because he did it. After him, and it's the fatwa for it in his 42 volume work fatwa. So you're taking it back to people who like are on the earth now. And you either got to say they're ignorant, or you got to, you know what I mean? You got to start saying there's something else, something a bit more sinister. You know, like that group ISIS. What do you reckon? What do you think about ISIS? You think they're ignorant? If we say they're ignorant about religion, we're giving them the benefit of the doubt. Once you move beyond that, it becomes sinister. They don't even come from within the walls of Islam. It's something from without. You get the point? And that as a project, that's something, and Madrus, you go to Cambridge, you go to Oxford, you go wherever, the great Orientalist centres, SOAS, School of Oriental African Studies, you go there, it was a project to dismantle the entire Islam. That's been a 200-year project that came out of Europe, yani. That's something that's well known. You get the point? So, yani, how can I say, coincidentally enough, all of these things that we're speaking about comes inside of that time period. The point I'm also trying to make is that benefit of the doubt, mashallah, so long as it doesn't become harmful. But it becomes harmful when people think that is deen of Allah Ta'ala. Sorry, it's not deen. It is not deen whatsoever. Yani. In fact, it's the antithesis of the deen. And when you take the Prophet says about the religion, what happens? And when you take his centricity out of the religion, what happens? Yani? And worse than the Quraysh. The Quraysh, they said to the Prophet ﷺ, Abu Jahl, he says to the Rasul, La nukadhibuka. We don't deny who you are. وَلَكِنْ نُكَذِّبُ بِمَا جِئْتَ بِهِ. We just deny that which you came with. That was the kufr of Abu Jahl. Yani. The kufr in our day and age, نُكَذِّبُكَ أَنْتَ. And we deny you. We don't even believe in you and all this barakah stuff. From within the walls, yani. No, sorry. I have no time for that whatsoever. Yani. It's very, very dangerous ideology. Shaykh Usama Sayyid, he has a book, Al-Haqq Al-Mubin. He's written a book now, I think it's been translated into like 20 or 30 languages off the bat, which is rare, which is just, it's sort of like a declaration, quote unquote, of war against all of these fringe and extremist elements inside of Islam. It's dangerous, really dangerous.